Hello, this is Distracted Lord, and welcome back to the Unknown Empire. And here is the house, as it was last time, except not quite, because I've made some changes. The first off is up this ladder, and I didn't put the ladder here, but there is now this room up here with a nice big flower that just drips particles in your face. But from up here, you can look out upon the lands. But I built this little observatory room on top. Now, initially I had some stairs coming from here up to there, and then Min put a ladder in over here, and that seemed like a much better idea. You may also notice a distinct lack of chests. That is because they are now down here. Because I've moved all of our stuff into this area down here. So this is deep slate, then we have cobble, we have some the other underground stuff. I also added this other little area over here, which has a nice window as well, and another window, because I like building windows. And you can look out over there towards the ruins of that village over there. There's also a slight bit of change that's happened over here. There was a bit of storage over here. Well, I moved all that downstairs. So I moved the crafting table over here, and then this is now just seeds, wheat stuff, and then the other stuff that we get from the farms. So I have changed the layout of this room a bit. There is now 2.5 blocks all the way over here, so I can actually stand under here where the chest used to be. Then we can go up to the level above, and we have another 2.5 blocks, and you're now in line with this window. Beds have been moved up a block along with the whole thing here. Then there's some nice fences around here to stop you falling off and breaking your knees. I suppose I could and probably should move crafting stuff over there. That would make sense. Let's put them in a useful order. The order of how much you use them. There you go, that's a nice neat row of crafting things. And now we just have a couple of chests. After tidying up the interior, I thought I should probably do the thing outside as well. So I cleaned all these trees out, the tree that was back there, and I might move this, but we don't really have enough of that to go. And I can't really get rid of these, it turns out, because nothing that you mine them with actually makes them drop, even silk touch, even shears. So now I built a better tree farm, which is somewhat larger than the previous one. The previous one was just a couple of rows of trees that were like 10 blocks long, and this has much longer rows, and there's 3 of them, and they're height restricted, so we don't get any more of those annoying giant trees that have all the branches sticking off the sides and are a pain to mine. And now there's a patch of dirt. That's because the water has moved. I put it over here. It's perhaps a little more difficult to get to, and now it runs off down the mountain in a very nice looking way. Yes, very aesthetic right here. And I moved the sugarcane to be growing around here next to the water source, and I guess I'm just magic. I can make sugarcane grow, not actually next to water. I'm just the sugarcane whisperer. I can talk to the sugarcane and tell it to no, there's just water hidden under here. There's just water down there that this sugarcane is next to. I can always add more and then more of this, and then just have sugarcane growing on the side of a hill and confuse everyone. And I have coloured the beds. There is a pink bed and a purple bed. So after I tidied up this area, I have now tidied up the sugarcane a bit more. And you may notice that there is no sugarcane farm. There is in fact a sugarcane farm, it's just better. So if I go over this way, you probably don't know, I don't know whether I actually showed it on camera, but there was a hole in the ground over here. A sort of cave, except it was a terrible cave, because it didn't actually go anywhere. It was just maybe a 10 block deep roundish hole in the ground, and I converted that to a sugarcane farm. So if I go down here, this is about where the bottom of the hole was. I just built in it, Currently it hasn't actually produced anything because I just built it, but if I go into here we have the sugarcane farm, and yes, I have pink slime. That's a texture pack thing because pink slime's cool, but this grows up, the observer sees it, and then the piston that you can just about see through the slime goes and smashes it all off. It falls down to the water and it goes into this hopper. And of course I have 2 layers of it, and this just falls down and goes into the hopper as well, I hope. It probably will miss. This farm does also have the issue of sometimes the sugarcane lands on the edge here and just gets stuck. As far as I know, this all works, and we should at some point start getting sugarcane. Now, you may have noticed there's a bunch of slime blocks, and I didn't have much slime. In fact, at the start of this episode I think I had about 10, and I managed to get I had 16 before I built that thing. And how did I get the slime? I asked around, and Madagascar said he had some, but I couldn't find his base. But Ozone told me about a special slime area where lots of slime spawn. Now, I didn't record it because I'm a great YouTuber, but I did take this screenshot, and this area, for some reason, just gets a ton of slimes. It's probably something with the fact that this part of the world here is actually at about Y-40 because custom terrain uses a lot more of the height that the world has to offer than the normal standard terrain does. I think there's also a bunch of slime chunks, and that means that an awful lot of slime spawn. Like, it is ridiculous. I spent like 15 minutes there, got through 2 iron swords, and came back with over 4 stacks of slime balls. That place is insane. In fact, I kind of want to go and build a slime farm there, just so that we can have infinite slime. Only problem is, it is sort of the other side of the world. Well, it's not exactly the other side of the world, it's not close. Has the sugarcane farm actually done anything yet? Yes, it's got 7. I mean, that's still not bad. I expected it to be a lot worse. But while I've been around, I have just been harvesting all of our farms. I've harvested the field many times, and I harvest these when I can be bothered. They grow really quickly. But this chest is starting to fill up with stuff, which is cool. We can probably sell it, or just bake the potatoes. But I should probably go and harvest this lot. I nicked some leaves, just in case we need some leaves, but I should probably go and actually chop down the trees. In the time it took me to harvest the trees over there and get about 8 stacks of oak logs, the sugarcane farm has got me 45. Okay. I mean, I checked it just before I recorded this segment, and it had 29, I think. And I checked around here, and I couldn't find anything. And now there's 2 here, and there's a whole load more in the chest. There is this one over here. Looks like it's about to go, because that needs 1 more. So that should go pretty quickly. So I'm just going to stand here and watch it. Or it could go while I'm still here. So, I mean, I caught some of it because I was nearby, but some of it, you may have seen, got whisked over there. And so from 49, we have now gone to, no, 47 it was on. We've now gone to 56. This is actually working far better than I was expecting. Oh, and in case you're wondering why I have these doors here, it's so that when this harvests here, it can't go and get stuck in here. But somebody is going to forget to close the doors, and then that's going to be a problem. And that somebody will probably be me. Well, it grew, and all of it came off in there, and went at the thing. Ah, I see why it's working so well. Because of the way this game works, the first one that gets pushed out is this one, and the slide block pushes that out quite far, and pushes it over, and it hits here. And then, because on the server we have lag reduction measures that just sort of group items together, all the other ones are immediately clumped together with the one that's out here. So the slime block ones are actually sent it head against this. It's the ones at the edges that don't always get pushed out far enough, so it sort of sticks to it. Maybe is a bit kind of inside it and falls down on the edge of the block, but because of the way it all groups together, when it actually does it properly, it all, or almost all, goes in, and now we have over a stack. That is cool. I made an actual functioning farm for once. So I've just gone the other side of the tree farm, and here we have a bit of cliff and some trees, and spawn is over that way in the distance, and somebody's built a house over here. This house belongs to Pun, and if you do not watch Pun, what are you doing? Go subscribe to Pun. But this is Pun's house, halfway between my house and spawn, and currently it's a bit empty. There's not much in here. I mean, he built it like 2 days ago or something. He's got a nice little pond with an axolotl in it called Berry. I need to get myself a little pond with an axolotl in it, like I did in Lost Echo. A very important part of the base. A small pond with an axolotl in it. So I went off into the wild wilderness that is the not custom terrain to do some mining, because I wanted some more shiny blue rocks, and tunneling around underground isn't the most effective thing. I mean, it's not bad, but I prefer going around in big caves. So I went off into the not custom lands to find some large caves, because I haven't really seen any around in this part of the world. I did find some shiny blue rocks. That's the wrong chest in here. We now have a block and 7. I think before we had 8, now we have 16, I think. I can't remember exactly. I also got myself a cat, as you can tell by the mewing noises. There's now my little black cat sitting up here. Anyone has a name for the cat? Do leave me a suggestion and I will name the cat as soon as I get a name tag. I currently do not have one. The sugarcane farm has produced me sugarcane. We are now onto a second row of sugarcane, which is nice. Not entirely sure what we need it for, but I'm sure I'll find a use for it at some point. It'll probably just be making books, but to make books you need leather, so I'll probably have to make a cow farm. And that's going to have to happen between episodes, because I'm out of time for this episode. Thank you for watching. Don't get distracted. Go subscribe now, and until next time, goodbye.